Hi, my name's Jake Gavand, and this video is to explain embedded answers or Cloze questions in Moodle 2. I'm going to go into a Moodle course. It's my sandbox course, and so you don't need to pay much attention to the picture here. But I will say that here's a quiz called the Grand Canyon Quiz, and I created it using some Cloze questions. And so I'm going to click on that, and it'll take us into the quiz. Gives the instructions as normal, and I'm going to continue my last attempt. It doesn't really matter. You'll get to take a look at this quiz this way. And so what Cloze questions are is they're questions where whatever the user enters closes the sentence. And so they spelled it with a Z to differentiate it from the word close. So if you ever need to know that. So here's the type of questions you can create. You can see this one, Grand Canyon National Park is located in the state of, and if I click on the drop down, you'll see that there are some different options the student could pick. Now that's one type. This would be the multi-choice, multiple choice type of Cloze question. Let me go into another type. There are 4. And so here's the next one. This is the short answer. And so it just says the blank river flows through the canyon, and so the student would need to know what word to type in there. The third type that I'm going to talk about is called numerical, and it allows them to fill in a number. So it says this important waterway flows blank miles. And I won't finish that sentence. The fourth type is really a combination of all of them. So you can have multi-choice, short answer, and numerical all in the same. And this is the exact same questions we just used. It says the Grand Canyon is one of the world's natural wonders. Grand Canyon National Park is located in the state of blank, and you could hit the drop down if you wanted. Then it says the blank river flows through the canyon, and then it flows blank miles. So it's a combination, and so the student would need to fill in all of those. And you'd give maybe 3 points or some multiple of that for this question. So this is the finished product. And so now let's go back into the quiz and take a look at how you create this type of question or quiz. Okay, so right now I'm updating the quiz. I've returned to my normal role as the teacher, and so you can put the name of your quiz and just do it. It's really in the question bank in the writing of the questions. So I'm going to go ahead over to edit quiz here and click on that. Okay, and so here are my different questions. And so if I click on one of these questions, let's take a look at this. Click the pencil. Here's where you can get at the multi-choice one. So if you look, it's not really a very easy thing to understand when you first look at it. You can see it says Grand Canyon National Park is located in the state of, and then you see those little brackets. And so let me explain. You really have to know the kind of code behind it. So that 1 that you see there first is really the number of points the question is worth, and everything's separated by a colon. So then you have a colon, and the MC stands for multi-choice. You can write out the whole word multi-choice in caps if you want. Then another colon, and then we see some different answers: Florida, Tennessee, Utah, and they're all separated by that little tilde, the little kind of approximate symbol there on the it's just to the left of the 1 on your keyboard. And you finally see that one of the states, Arizona, has an equal sign, and that's because you're telling Moodle that that's the correct answer. So to do multi-choice, you need to know this quiz, and I will I've left this long enough that you could kind of copy this down. I will refer you to some resources from Moodle that give you more examples too at Moodle.org. One thing to mention after you write the question in that editor is they do have you decode and verify the question text. And if I click that, I will show you what that looks like. Okay. Tells you a little information. It says the question definition, and that's where you typed that code. It says the layout is a drop-down menu inline in the text, and there's different ways. This is really just a cursory explanation of Cloze, but then you have answers: Florida, Tennessee, Utah, and those are all worth 0 points, and Arizona is worth 1 point. So let's go back to the next question now here, so you can see it. We'll go into the short answer question type now. And so here's this question, and this one's a little easier to get at. Again, you see this brackets river flows through the canyon. So the brackets are where the little closed box pops up. And so again, it's worth 1 point. You can see SA, and that stands for short answer. You could write short answer out. Then there's another colon, and then it says Colorado, because it's telling the exact answer. One thing that's interesting about these is, what if the student, I always thought when I first saw this, what if the student doesn't capitalize it? I don't necessarily want to count it wrong. So I'm going to click the Decode and Verify Question Text, and by default, the setting is that case sensitivity, it's that no, case is unimportant. So again, there are some more complex code you can use to make them get the case exactly right, but by default, the case is not important. Let me go back again a couple times, and we'll go back to the next question type, which is the numerical one. And so in the numerical one, we'll zoom in here. And it says, this important waterway flows, and then again you see the 1 for the points. You see the NM, that's the abbreviation for numerical. Another colon, then you have equals, and it's 1,450. Now the colon after that and the 50, that 50 tells how far off they can be. So if I put 50, that means they could either be 50 below 1450 or 50 above. So in reality, Moodle will accept any answer from 1,400 all the way to 1,500 in this case. Once again, I will go back and show you. We'll decode and verify the question text, and it will bring some clarification to this. Basically what I just said, it gives you an accepted error of 50, so they can be off by up to 50. Now, I'll show you the last type of question. We'll go back a couple times, the combined question. And that one probably won't be surprising to you. It's just a longer chunk of text. It says all of those within it. So it talks about the first one being the multi-choice one. You can see, then you can see that it has the short answer. And so basically anytime you put those brackets, it tells Moodle or any program that's generating closed questions that here's where we're going to have a question type. And so these are the exact same things we just looked at, but just to show that to you. Okay, so I won't even click the decode and verify the question text here because it's just going to show the 3 questions. There's 2 things I think it'd be helpful for you to see. I have a tab open, and I will zoom in on this so you can see it. Here's an address at Moodle.org, if I can fit it all on my screen. There we go. And this address takes you to their page that gives more detail and more examples about it. And so I'm not going to talk about it much here, except to say that there are more things you can do than the basics I've shown you. And so that is probably the place to go if you really want to get into this. Like, you can display things differently and even control it more, but you're needing to know more coding. 2 things to mention. Here is a screenshot of what I tend to do. This is on a PC in Notepad. I'll tend to go over each example, and so here we can kind of look at them. These are the same ones you've seen, and I'll a lot of times type them into Notepad. One thing also that some people do is they will go into another program, a quiz program, something like Hot Potatoes is a free one that a lot of Moodlers use, and that has a better interface for, you don't have to know as much code, and so some people will generate their closed questions in there. So I've kept it under 10 minutes. Again, I hope this helps you to learn about embedded answers, closed questions in Moodle.